Shoutouts and callouts time. Okay, so this is for my. I'm gonna do another callout this week. I don't think I've had like a positive shoutout in a while. I
I
feel
don't
like
know
I've
if
been
you
doing a
have.
lot of callouts, but I think I shouted out the Tyler the Creator album, but that's probably the last one I
Oh
did.
yeah.
That's okay. Let's go with some negativity again. Um, like I don't know. I'm gonna with the whole Bronny James situation. It's very cool that he got to play with his dad. Um, very cool. Awesome moment. Don't want to take anything away from him. Um, the reason I am calling out, and not even just Bronny James. I don't know if this is his decision, but just the whole situation around this. So he gets sent down to the South Bay Lakers of the G League. Um, but then the whole thing about it is that even though he's part of the South Bay Lakers, he will not be traveling with the team, and he will only be playing in home games. To me, like I know Simon, like when we were gonna make this into a full segment, you were like, "Well, what did you expect?" I don't know,
Yeah.
like a little bit more of a backbone than this, where it's like
From the Lakers?
if you want, fair enough, but like I guess as a Lakers fan, you
Yeah.
probably experienced that much more than I have. But it's just like really like if
They
you
also
want to like
hired
at least
LeBron's podcast host
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Like I know it's kind of a bit of a disaster anyways, but like I don't know. It's just so like I don't know why you would want to do this if you're Bronny either. It just makes you like it's such a like
You would think
transparent
you
sign
would
of privilege
yeah.
and
Well, yeah.
preferential treatment. Like it's just ridiculous.
It's funny, but like you would think he'd want to like differentiate himself from his dad, right?
Yes,
Like you'd
exactly.
think, like at a certain point, you'd think that's what he wants, but it's not. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's just not his choice. Maybe he's just not getting
Maybe.
like an opinion in the matter. Like, obviously, no one knows what's going on in that room. Like, but yeah, I you'd think at a certain point he'd want to like differentiate his career from his dad. Maybe he's being realistic and he knows that there isn't a point. But because he could have a 15-year long career as a role player, which if he has a long career is the most likely thing that's going to happen, and he will still always be looked at as LeBron James's kid.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe this is
Um,
him accepting that and just going like, maybe I should just take all the help I should get, even if people look down on me for it. But at a certain point, you'd think he'd want to like, because honestly, for his growth, I get it because you're giving him the opportunity to stay at home. It's kind of like the reason that people like the AHL in hockey. It's me going to the hockey example when I don't feel comfortable in the basketball, right? But it's the reason people like putting their prospects in the AHL is the fact that they only play like 2 games a week, 1 or 2 games a week, usually on the weekends, and they can just practice and work with their teams and get better during the week. You know what I mean? It's the reason, and it's similar with the WHL and stuff like that. People like their prospects playing in that before they move up to the NHL. Maybe that's the thought with Bronny of just like let's allow him to just play games every once like maybe like once or twice a week. Just let him improve as a player and just see where it goes. Maybe that's the logic, but it's also absolutely it's still I'm trying to put logic behind
but there's
something that's
no.
just nepotism.
It,
like so I'm playing devil's
it is.
advocate.
Yeah. I don't think they put that much thought into it. I then why don't they do this with more players? Why is this news then? If because if that's the play, then why don't we see that with way more developmental stars? It's because of LeBron. Like I don't know. I don't necessarily know if I want to speak much more to it, but it's
Yeah.
just like I don't know. It's just like examples of nepotism are never like great anywhere, and this is just like the most blatant it's been. You could argue that drafting him was, in the first place, potentially the most blatant form of nepotism in this regard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is pretty. This is almost on the same level to me.
Yep. So my shout out this week is actually a good one because I'm shouting out something that I think is very cool. That as a prediction, I do not know. I am not a lawyer. I am not. I do not have any knowledge when it comes to the law, other than Suits, which is a great show that I recommend. But I think that my shout out for this week is to an app that I discovered. I just started using it in the last few days. It's called Blue Sky, and it's basically just Twitter too. to give like people have been calling it the new Twitter. It's the non-Elon Musk Twitter. And I'm going to take that off the screen there for a second because, well, Caleb, I don't know if you used Twitter before Elon Musk came along and changed it to X, but I'm just going to show you this.
Briefly.
Does this look identical to Twitter to you?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. It literally, like, everything about it, it just looks like Twitter from, like, 5 years ago. And it's funny because I have no idea, no clue how they aren't getting sued for this. Because they quite literally, it looks like Twitter.
It really does. That's
it does.
Crazy.
Oh, it like look at where the logo is, like the color scheme. Like if I open and like try and make a tweet, it looks like I'm making a tweet.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty like.
I mean, if I go to profile, like, it looks identical to Twitter. Like it's Twitter.
It does, but I mean, like, you know what? Good for them because.
Well, I was gonna say, good for me because this is way better. This is so much better than.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is.
This is me doing their branding for them in a nutshell. But what they have that is really cool, in my opinion, is you have different feeds, and you can like.
Oh, that's nice.
Agree to join like feeds that other people are making, right? So if I only want to read about NHL, I can go here. Oh wow. It's just random NHL shit. I don't know what that... I hope there's nothing bad being said in any of these. UFC. Lovely. NFL. Fishing. Dog pictures. I got it all. I've loaded. Why in dog pictures is there American election? Okay, they still need some work. I don't want to hear about that. I want no politics. I don't want any politics in my dog photos. But
it's like dog. I was gonna say, like, I feel like dog pics would be the nicest one, and then it's like, why is the New York Times withholding information about Donald Trump?
Is that what it was?
What the?
Oh, yeah. It is actually that. And then right under it is, be the person your dog thinks you are. So there you go.
So there's some kinks to work out, but it's still better than whatever Elon Musk is doing.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's not really hard to do.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Speaking of being better than Elon Musk, but not just better, it's just like 1,000 million gazillion times better. Like, it's not even a particularly close contest. We have the person that we model this entire show after, the person who you may have seen make a couple cameos in one of our earlier segments, and that is Michael Penix. I've got to learn his middle name. I've got to learn his middle name for this to give him the full respect he reserves. I'll come back to that on next show. Oh yeah, there we go. I have the feature at the bottom too. And with that being said, Penix better have a warm ass. See you next week.